Well, welcome to you. And the first thing we got to do is get on the IT department to make the official, new graphic for the Home and Home, which is Damon, Bruce, and Larry Krueger. It's the best sports talk show that San Francisco never got, so we're just giving it to the entire internet for free. So there it is. How are you, Larry? Good to see you again.
Good to see you. Happy Wednesday, March the 26th, day before the draft. Very warm day out here in the creek. Feeling good.
I got people saying there's sundress conditions all around. Not that I can be concerned with these things anymore because I'm a married guy, but yes, sundress weather is all around us. Hey, my wife looks great in a sundress, so we're shouting out sundress weather whenever humanly possible. Someone says, Damon, can you give us a shout out in Modesto? Ray Lord, absolutely, we can. Shout out to the good folks in Modesto. I do believe it is April 26th, Larry.
What did I say?
The 25th, I think.
Oh, okay. Did I say 25th? I meant 26th.
That's all right.
My bad.
I don't know if your actual mic is on or if you're picking up some ambient mic. You don't sound like you're all up in your microphone.
How's that? Any better? Let me see.
Yeah.
Let me see.
See, we would have tried these things, but
it should be working.
Oh, no, I mean, I can hear you. I can hear
okay.
We can do it. We just don't sound.
I have a fan going in the background. Maybe is that it?
No, it's all. No? It's all right. It's all right.
All right. Can you guys hear me? Can the chat? Can you guys hear me? Hello, chat.
We can hear
hello.
you. JB says that you got the date right, but you said it was March 26th, so maybe that's it.
Oh, there we go. The other day I started a live stream, and it was a Sunday, and I started to think, I'm like, yeah, it's a Sunday, and then I'm like, all right, it's a Friday, so it's like I'm losing my
whatever it is
connection.
A man who is on the air. It says, no, we can't hear you, Larry. Hold on.
No, they can't hear me?
Yeah, I think someone's
one guy says,
oh,
look at you. I'll talk louder.
There we go. Talk louder. Get angry. So, hey, I hope you like big basketball games, man. We got one tonight. Let's just start with this. Does the winner of tonight's game win this series, yes or no?
No, not necessarily. I expect Sacramento to have a huge effort tonight.
You do?
Yeah. I mean, I think Golden State's going to win, but if Sacramento circles the wagons and wins this game, so what? Warriors are going to win Game 6. The Warriors are going to win Game 7. I really believe the Warriors are the better team.
The team that hasn't won on the road yet in this series is guaranteed to win a Game 7 in Sacramento?
Well, I don't know about guaranteed, but I mean, Golden State, I think it's the better team. That's why they were favored to win the series. And, I like the way they're playing right now. I mean, they won a game they shouldn't have won the other day. I mean, they really shouldn't have won that game the other day, and they found a way to win. So I think Sacramento bounces back here, but you got to remember this. When it gets to a Game 7, you're dealing with one team that's got jewelry and parades and experience, and the other team that's, got a purple light on top of their arena.
Well, all due respect to the beam, which I love it. I think it's a great gimmick. I'm happy that they're doing it. Sacramento needs something to enjoy and be proud of for the first time in almost 20 years. So I'm not trying to take away any Kings enthusiasm, but I'm not trying to, kiss up to anyone here. The winner of tonight's game wins the series, Larry.
Really? You believe so?
Oh, without a doubt in my mind. And I got an awful lot of NBA history on my side as well. The winner of Game 5 in a series tied 2-2 goes on to win that series almost 83% of the time. So it is hard to go ahead and then win 2 when you need to, especially for a team, that has struggled on the road. I mean, Warriors on the road in a Game 7. Theoretically, yeah, I'm on board. We know who they are. We know what they've done. But who they are and what they've done should have given us a much better team on the road this year. And they were the Orlando Magic on the road. They weren't just bad. They were pathetic on the road. So tonight is the night that I think they need to muster their championship DNA. And tonight's the night where I think, you got to have all of of course you need that in order to win. You need a good game out of Steph. You need a good game out of Clay. You need a good game out of Wiggins. Looney needs to rebound. And we know that Draymond's got to be locked in. And then choose your own adventure, Larry. I don't care who it is. But somebody else has to come along for the ride off the bench. And I don't care if it's Poole. I don't care if it's Donovan DiVincenzo. I don't care if it's Moody. I don't care who it is. But they need somebody else to come along for the ride tonight and really make an impact. And if it's not going to be Jordan Poole, if he is not having a good game, if he's slipping all over the court and turning the ball over early, if he is part of the reason why the Warriors aren't off to a good start, I think you got to get his ass off the floor tonight. I mean, I want defense tonight. I need Gary Payton II to have a bigger game than I think I need Jordan Poole to have a big game.
Well, I mean, to me, I would stay with what they went with the last game. I'd start Jordan Poole and bring Draymond off the bench. And to me, I like the look of that. The other concern I have is I'm very concerned about the bench scoring. The Warriors don't have anybody who can score on their bench. It's a real problem. It's a real problem if Monk goes for 20 plus points. Moody's not giving you points. Peyton's not giving you points. Kuminga's not giving you anything. DiVincenzo didn't give you points in the last game. You have to get points from your bench. You can't lean on your starters to everybody's not going to go for 30. You have to give somebody on their bench has to score. And so to me, that's got to be DiVincenzo. It's got to be DiVincenzo. He only took 3 shots in this last game. Dante, you have to be more of an offensive factor. And then Kuminga or Moody or Peyton, one of these guys has got to grab, I don't know, a rebound. Those 3 guys in the last game combined to play, let's see, 5 minutes for Moody, 7 for Peyton. That's 12. They played 15 combined minutes on the floor. They grabbed 1 freaking rebound combined. Kuminga, rebound. Moody, rebound. Gary Payton, rebound. I mean, the Warriors have to they can't get destroyed inside, points in the paint. They can't turn it over a ton, and they have to rebound the basketball. This last game, the Kings took 12 more field goal attempts than Golden State, most of those coming in the first half. It was a huge disparity. But Golden State held their own on the glass. It was 44-44. They held their ground as far as points in the paint. It was relatively even. But somebody's got to rebound and somebody's got to score off their bench. To me, the huge disappointment, Damon, is Jonathan Kuminga. Jonathan Kuminga, come on, man, you're a lottery pick. You're the most athletic guy on the floor. Don't stand around on the weak side when the ball goes up. Crash the boards. I mean, you're the best athlete on the floor. Grab a rebound, dunk a couple back. I mean, they need Kuminga to play with a greater urgency. They need DiVincenzo to look for his offense on that that end of the floor. But I definitely like to see what Golden State did. I thought it was huge that Kerr brought Draymond off the bench, because it kind of guaranteed that the Warriors would have at least one big man on the floor virtually at all times, and it worked out in their favor.
If they can sell that to Draymond, God bless. I mean, I could see, if
best game he had in the series so far.
The minute that third quarter started, though, he was right there on the floor with the starters again. So
yeah.
It's not like he got brought off the bench in the second half. Little bit of a gimmick, I think, more than anything else, but it gives you early offense. And tonight, I think a good start, a quick start for the Warriors goes a long way to just settling them into this game and making it comfortable. The Kings feeling the gravity of the moment of this game is something I think the Warriors need to take advantage of. This is the biggest game any of these guys have been in since whatever was the last big game they were in college. Like, that's how much tonight should feel different than even the other nights. The Kings are playing with expectations. They came to Golden State. They came to San Francisco with expectations. Coughed them up 2 games in a row, even though that fourth, that game number 4 was a heart attack on a plate. Harrison Barnes finally misses a 3 that helps the Warriors in the postseason. But, man, I really think tonight goes a long way. No, I don't think it goes a long way. I think the winner of tonight's game wins this series. What's the fatal flaw turnover number that the Warriors can't exceed?
16.
Yeah, I'd put it around there. I'd said 15 is a magic number. They need to come underneath that.
Yeah, I mean, they just can't get into mass turnovers. The other thing, too, it's like play off of Sabonis. Sabonis has shown you're doing him a favor if you bump him and crowd him. Don't bump him and crowd him. Play off of him. Force him to shoot the ball. This guy has no confidence shooting the ball outside of 2 feet. And it's obvious to everybody. And it's like, if I'm Kerr, I'm talking to the refs before the game. This guy lives in the key. He's in there for 6, 7, 8 seconds at a time. And if you don't believe me, go take out the last couple games and watch it for yourself. Count the seconds if you need to. And how many times did he ward off? How many times did he push off? How many times did he jam a shoulder? Damon, I've been watching NBA basketball for decades. I haven't seen the level of physicality that Domantas Sabonis has brought on the low block since fucking Anthony Mason. I mean, seriously, I mean, you got to go back to the 80s. I feel like I'm going to see Tolbert come out of the tunnel when I'm watching these guys bang bodies inside. They didn't allow that all year. But, I mean, Sabonis is just one dribble, boom, one dribble, boom. And Draymond's strong enough to hold his ground. Looney's strong enough to hold his ground. But these are offensive fouls, man. This is an offensive foul.
I don't mind down low banging. I don't mind the banging in the playoffs. To me, that is to be interpreted in the moment, and asking an official to interpret intent is always a sticky situation to get into. If you want to officiate Bonus tonight in a way that might benefit the Warriors, just watch his feet. I mean, forget his shoulders.
Terrible.
His
footwork's terrible.
He travels everywhere. So
he's always moving his pivot foot.
Yeah,
but he also is throwing his lead arm at the defender. I mean, he's done it. I've seen him do it 10 times. I mean, come on, guys. Seriously, that is an offensive foul. When you ward off, when you create space with your open arm, that is an offensive foul. It has to be called. It has to be called.
I'm a little scared of Malik Monk tonight. I mean,
Yeah.
You need to guard him like his name was De'Aaron Fox, and obviously De'Aaron Fox has got the just the tip issue on his shooting hand, on his finger. So, let's see how that shot is flying. Let's see if that affects his floater, which is one of his best offensive weapons. And look, if you're Draymond Green, if you're Kevon Looney, hell, if you're Klay Thompson, if you're Gary Payton II, you're swiping at that hand all night. I mean, if you pick up a cheapie because you're trying to go after his hand, I'm cool with that. And I'm not trying to hurt the guy or anything, but you test that injury. You test that man's will. It's a playoff game, and I think the Warriors got to get physical with him right on his hand.
Well, Steve Kerr, are you out there? Play GP2 more than 7 minutes. 7 minutes? That's all he got? Alex Len played 4 more minutes than GP2. I mean, come on. Play GP2. Your bench is super thin. You basically went 7 deep. I mean, you played Kuminga a tad. You played Moody a little. I mean, basically, you played 7 players. You played Green and DiVincenzo and your starters.
Yeah.
Give me some minutes for Peyton. You've got one of the best defensive guards in basketball. I mean, you don't need to play defense suddenly? You don't need defense? Defense ain't for you? Seriously, I'd like to know why GP2 didn't even play the game before because of illness. Play him.
Right.
Play him.
Yeah. Play him.
He's got to play.
Just to go back to Kuminga, who I think anything you get out of him tonight is just gravy. I don't think he's going to see the floor very much. And it's too bad. I'll tell you, one of the blind spots of the dynasty is how they have brought along their young players. I mean, obviously James Wiseman is the biggest example of that. Didn't work out. To me, Jonathan Kuminga is a big reason why the Warriors were the 6th seed this year and not a 4 or a 3. He was a massive disappointment all year long. And I don't know what it is about him. I don't know if it's immaturity or I don't know why it's not working for him, because he is, like you said, almost at all times the best athlete on the court. And usually athleticism translates to the very, bare minimum of rebounds. But there's not enough there for the guy. It's not like he's fallen in love with the 3 and he's not attacking the rim. He attacks the rim, but he still doesn't do it enough. I really wonder what role, if any, he's going to play in tonight's game.
Yeah, I mean, I just, to me, that's a big one. That is an absolute big one. It's like, what exactly?
Oh, by the way, there you go.
Better mic.
You just got. Now I can hear you much better.
Yeah, I made an adjustment on the mic. I saw some people commenting, so I went to the settings and adjusted the mic. Is it better?
Hold on. I think I got you coming in here.
Yeah.
Let me go to my audio. Let me make sure this is coming in and out. I don't know why that's doing that. Nah, I think we're all right. Here, I don't need to wear these anymore. Now I can hear you just
All
coming
right.
through.
But maybe I'm hearing myself back. Maybe
Oh,
a
you
little
are?
bit.
You're getting feedback?
I'm getting
See,
feedback.
When you did that. I don't see. This is my IT department's not here today. So hold on. Let me do this. Audio. This is for you. Audio output. Audio input. We go here. We go here. Let's try it again. Talk to me.
Hello, everybody.
See,
There
there we go.
There we go.
You know, two radio guys
Who knew?
about 15, 16 minutes into a show should be able to figure it out, right?
You know what it is that we jump to the restream and it's a different thing, and then I didn't realize I've got to change every setting. So I thought I was in the right setting. But
see, this is why I'm telling you, you can't go right to the wire with somebody named Wayne Breezy when we have much bigger things
That's
to do
the
over
great
here.
Wayne Breezy.
All
That's
due
the
respect
great
to
Breezy.
Wayne, no one in the Bay Area knows who that is.
No, people know Breezy. Are you kidding me? Breezy's a big time guy. No, I hear you though. I hear you. As far as what's up with Kuminga, I think Steve just needs to be real simple with Kuminga, just like a singular demand, rebound. Just you go after every rebound, because he's in some ways he's very advanced, but in some ways he's very raw. And I just think that he finds himself thinking on the court instead of reacting. And we're at a point in the calendar where everybody on the floor is reacting. So if you have to think before you react, you're going to be a moment late. And I mean, to me, you're on the weak side. A three goes up on the opposite side of the floor. Get inside and rebound. I mean, I don't know what else you would be doing. And there's times where he just finds himself kind of standing around watching. He's too athletic for that.
The only thing I will give him a little credit for, or an excuse, I'm not making a big excuse, is it's hard to get a rebound when you're asked to be a perimeter defender at all times, too. And he's usually out defending on the perimeter. I want my Kuminga on the low block. I really do. I'd like to see him go in there, but then you're leaving somebody unguarded on the perimeter, and that's that's the modern NBA. Get a lot of long rebounds. It's a big game tonight, man. It's a big, big game tonight. There's no doubt about it. It's hard to look at this Warriors season and say they've done a good job throughout the regular season. I mean, they're not going to be NBA champions this year. Doesn't it feel like that?
Oh, I don't think they will either. No, I think they're going to win this series. They're gonna send the beam back into the offseason. They're going to beat the Lakers in the next round, but they're not getting by Denver. They're not getting by Denver.
I don't think so.
I think it'll be
maybe
Denver beats the Warriors. Unless Denver gets beat.
That's the thing. It could be Phoenix, right? Because it's going
I don't think they're getting by Phoenix either.
Suns and Nuggets, dude. Right now, Devin Booker and Kevin Durant are scoring like Jordan and Pippen. They're scoring like Shaq and Kobe. They have been unstoppable. I wrote this down for my show earlier today, and this is really something else. Booker and KD have gone on to score through just 5 games, 328 combined points between the two. Not since Kobe and Shaq has the NBA seen a scoring output between two teammates like that to start a postseason. The two of them right now are just cooking, and it's Devin Booker on the motorcycle. Kevin Durant's in the sidecar right now. Devin Booker's a guy go get 45, 47. He's averaging, I think, 40 in this series since game one, since dropping game one to the Clippers.
He's in his prime. I mean, he's got to lead the way. The guys in their prime have to lead the way, which is why Golden State is probably going to fall short, because they're not led by guys in their prime. They're led by older guys. Who's in their prime on the Warriors? Looney, DiVincenzo, Wiggins, Poole, maybe Peyton. I mean, that's the prime year. Those are the guys in the prime. Clay's older, Draymond's older, Steph's older, Kuminga's younger,
Kevon Looney's
Moody's
still
younger.
in his prime. Kevon Looney isn't old, by the way.
Right. He's in his prime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's playing the best basketball of his life. Like right now, game in, game out. Like
awesome.
The really good Kevon Looney games would show up 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times a year. He's put 5, 6, 7 in a row together. Like he is playing some great basketball, and he needs to keep doing that. I think the Warriors got to win this one, Larry. I don't think there's any wiggle room around it. I think that they need this one, and they got to close this son of a bitch out on Friday. I just saw, if I can open up my Twitter here, because my man John Dickinson says that if the Warriors-Kings game is the only game coming up on Friday night, it's going to be played at 6 Eastern. If the Lakers, it's going to be played at 6 o'clock our time.
Oh, I was going to
9
say.
Eastern. I'm sorry.
Could you imagine if the Warriors Kings game 6 was at 3 o'clock in the afternoon Pacific?
That would be incredible.
It'd just be ridiculous.
If Memphis wins tonight, the Warriors and Kings are playing at 5 o'clock on Friday. I don't like that. It's
5 o'clock at home, and that makes it even more difficult to get there.
Well, people are getting out of work and stuff. I mean, that's a half-empty arena at tip-off of a deciding, an almost deciding playoff game. So I don't like that, and I don't want to hear, well, that's the way it is with new fans at Chase Center. That's the way it would have been at Oracle Arena. A 5 o'clock start time is a little bit of a kiss of death for any. And look at it this way. Try to go to dinner. Try to just meet your buddy at 5 o'clock. You ain't getting there at time in the Bay Area, and the commute's not even all the way back, and it's still ferocious.
I mean, unless you're gonna, just leave your home to go there at noon and make it your entire, purpose in life to get there. Yeah, I mean, you're right. The commute's gonna be rough, especially Friday commute. It's always a nightmare. This game, I'll say this: whatever Steve Kerr's fire and brimstone speech is, whatever his motivation, whatever his greatest motivational tactic is, he ought to use it in the pregame tonight. Because if the Warriors can come out with just an awesome, high energy first quarter, they can absolutely win this series in the first quarter tonight. They absolutely can.
I think that they can rob some enthusiasm from the crowd and from that team. I think making the Kings feel the gravity of that game. We always use the word gravity to talk about how Steph and Clay pull guys out further from the basket to defend. That's not the gravity I'm talking about. I'm talking about the weight of a playoff game that can put you up 3-1 in the series. I mean, or 3-2 in the series. This is a penultimate game, I really think, because Game 6 is probably where, if the Warriors win tonight, everyone's going to love the Warriors in Game 6. This could be the last game of the year at Golden One Center.
Oh, I think it is. I mean, I don't think it has to be for Golden State to win the series, but I think it is. Why? Because the Warriors, this has been the Warriors' history. They make an adjustment mid-series. They adjust to their opponent, and then they don't look back. And I talked about it last week with Willard, like, hey, you know what? They could lose the first 2, and then they could go win 4 straight, and they're halfway to it. And tonight, obviously, is the biggest game. Why do I feel that way? I just feel like as this series progresses, the pressure of it is bothering Kevin Huerter and Harrison Barnes. And you can start to see them bricking left and right. Those two guys shot 4 of 15 in the last game, 1 for 7 from beyond the arc. And
role players on the road, man.
I just think
on the road.
I mean, these are
shrink a little. That's what I'm worried about.
Barnes
tonight.
looked great early, and so did Huerter. Huerter looked great early, but these guys, the Warriors, have adjusted.
I hope you're right. I saw this from Josh Dubow today, who's just the amount of information and stats that guy pulls out for historical connections. It's always fascinating. He's really good at his job. At Josh Dubow AP, if you want to follow him on Twitter as well.
Good guy. I sat next to him at the Niner presser. I think he's you talking about the guy with the kind of short crop, dark hair, right? I don't have a picture of him. Yeah, he's really good. Really good. Covers all Bay Area sports. I was sitting next to him Monday at the Lynch presser. Yeah, he's good. He's a good follow.
He is. So he's got Warriors under Kerr when playoff series are tied 2-2. Going back to 2015, round 2 against Memphis, the Warriors win that game and close out the series in 6.
This is under Kerr when they've been tied 2-2.
Right. Any round. Just your series is tied 2-2. What happened in Game 5? What happened in the series?
So what was the first one? Game 5. I'm gonna jot this down. Game 5 against who was it? Denver?
2015 round 2 against Memphis.
Memphis. Okay.
That was the Curry 3. That was after Curry and Draymond went out for like ribs on Beale Street, and the two of them had a big heart-to-heart. And then Curry hits that big – no, he hit the dagger in New Orleans too, but then he hits a big shot. They beat – that's the grit and grind. That's the death of the grit and grind Memphis Grizzlies right there. So round 2, 2015, Warriors win Game 5. They win the series in 6. 2015 NBA Finals in Cleveland. The Warriors win Game 5, and they go on to win the series in 6. The next time the Warriors are tied 2-2, we skip ahead to 2018, the Western Conference Finals against Houston. The Warriors lose Game 5 and then win the series in 7. 2019, round 2 against Houston. That's when Curry had, I think, 3 points in the first half and then 30 points in the second half when he just went bonkers. They win Game 5. They win that series in 6. And then, obviously, the last time they were tied 2-2 was just in last year's NBA Finals. The Warriors win Game 5 and close out the series in 6. So winning Game 5 goes a long way. The one time the Warriors lost a Game 5, they did come back and win it in Game 7, but that was against the end of the Houston Rockets, not the beginning of the.
So you're saying in a 2-2 under Kerr, Warriors are 4-1 in Game 5s.
Yes, I am. And they're undefeated in all 5 series.
And 5-0 in those series. Interesting. Yeah.
Josh by the way, if you didn't write that all down right, you can just follow him on Twitter. Just go and you'll see the tweet.
Yeah, no, that is interesting. I think as the series moves on, I think Sacramento starts to feel the pressure. I think Barnes felt it in the last game.
Their media members are certainly feeling the pressure. You see, like the war of words that's going on between Sacramento media members and Bay Area media members. It's clownish. It really is.
What? Can you give us a sampling?
So, just back and forth between Bonte and Carmichael Dave, like officially getting nasty against each other on Twitter.
Really?
Yeah, like either of these guys have hit a bucket in this series. Come on. And look, maybe they're really good friends. They got a backdoor agreement that we're just going to get a ton of pub for each other by going after each other. But no, it feels like it's nasty. And one thing that did make me laugh, and I don't remember who it was, if it was Carmichael Dave or the other guys or D'Lo and KC. I don't know who it was that said this, but they're like, man, I haven't dealt with a more obnoxious fan base in the playoffs in all my... Dude, you haven't dealt with any fan base in the playoffs for 16 years. Come on. What do you... Stop it. It's ridiculous how so many people are like wearing this as a personal badge of honor, transferring personal glory, whether the team wins or not, onto the fans. It's just ridiculous. I now officially know why Ray Ratto hates fans, Larry.
Well, you know what? It's been a while. It's been a while for the Kings fans. They're doing their best. I'm searching the Carmichael Dave for any exchanges with Bonte. I'm not seeing it.
Maybe they've even deleted them.
Must be deep. Must be deep in there.
Hold on. Again, we don't need to be reading texts from radio show hosts on this because this is a lot better than that. But I will say this, Larry, just for two guys who, you and I think, are probably, well, up until about a year ago for you, up until about a month ago for me, we were two of the biggest advocates for sports talk radio, either locally or nationally, out there. We loved the medium. I think we both had great success in the medium. We care deeply about it. We care about the relationships fans have with their radio stations. There is some romance there that never gets attached to how a fan feels about a television network. It's just radio feels like it's a bit of you. It's a part of your day. It's a part of your commute. It's a part of your routine. And I don't know if you saw the bloodbath yesterday at ESPN Radio or not.
No.
Who got there. So it hasn't
affected
the on-air, but Luis Cornetta, like all the people who were
Mike
behind the scenes.
Orenega, is he out?
Yes, all the people behind the scenes that really made that go. A few people who were not in Bristol but were important members of like the ESPN radio family in New York and LA and in that, like they all got. I was at the Barrett thing. One of the most impressive presentations was from this woman named Amanda Brown, who ran 710 LA ESPN radio. She got. And I mean, I'm telling you right now, Larry, you would like, if you heard her talk for 15 minutes, you'd be like, I want to work for her. I am ready to attach my entire career to this woman. She is brilliant. She's smart. She's a go-getter. I want to work for her. Gone. And Jason Barrett wrote today, like, you can no longer present yourself as not a network that cares, but a network that's even really trying, that has prioritized this medium anymore. Like, they've just, it's not because I got laid off, it's not because you got laid off that I'm feeling this way these days. The medium of radio is at event horizon, like right now. It will never be what it once was, and it could absolutely slip off of the mortal coil and be so radically different in just 2-3 years from now. It's a good thing we're over here doing this, and I promise you, the way that you coached me up and told me how to just jump right into this and get on YouTube and do your thing, go on Twitch, start putting yourself in all the little buckets of the internet, all the really good advice that you've given me, Larry, is going to be the same things that you're going to be telling a handful of people who are calling you in the next year or two, that I'm going to be telling people. You and I should basically start a seminar on, so you're a really talented local radio host who just got totally fucked by a company that ruined your radio station. Let's show you how to do it.
Well, it's not nothing personal. It's just biz, and it's just the way it is. It's this technology has gotten to a spot. Radio has gotten to a spot where, what's been the big invention that's killed radio is the smart dash, because now everything emanates from this,
right?
The phone. And so we get in our car.
What's your screensaver there? What do you got on your screensaver?
I've got my kids.
Oh, very nice. I got my kid too. I got Jack wearing a mustache in Mexico, looking like a cocaine dealer.
This is from Pacific Beach, my favorite beach in the world, Pacific Beach, down in San Diego. No, but I was just going to say that, it's just it's nothing personal. It's just the smart dash. So you get in your car, and if you have a new car, your phone pairs to your car, and now every podcast that you ever listen to on your phone is one touch away, the same way the radio station's one touch away, except the radio station, you've got a 17-minute commute, let's say, and you're going to hear 7 minutes of radio, and you're going to hear 7 minutes of commercials, and then you're going to hear 3 more minutes of radio or whatever. That's how that works. This, there's commercials attached, but they're far less intrusive, and you can, in your commute, go all the way from point A to point B and listen to, if you're a Kings fan, you can listen to nothing but Kings talk. If you're a fan of plants, you can listen to nothing but botany talk and politics, and whatever your corner of the universe is, you can go right to it. Right. And you don't have to sit there. I mean, think about it. It's kind of like, I always look at radio. You say, what's radio kind of like at this point? It's kind of like Pandora. You ever listen to Pandora?
Well,
you familiar with what it is?
Well, of course I am. But the reason why I don't listen to Pandora very much is because they're spitting what they want to spit at me. I'm not selecting it.
Well, exactly. I mean, right. So we all used to get into our cars and listen to a radio station that was playing a genre that jived with us, hoping to maybe hear one of a dozen songs that we really liked. Well, now my kids don't do that. And Jack, when he's old enough to have a phone, he isn't going to do that. He's going to go to Apple Music. He's going to put his favorite songs in there, and he's going to listen to them on a loop,
right?
And as many times as he wants, continuously. And so that's killed the music stations, because why would you ever listen to any music station to hear to maybe get a song that you like when you could literally type in, Apple Music, and just boom, you're listening to your favorite songs all the time and you don't have any commercials. So that's killed the music part of it. And then just the heavy commercialization of it. Eventually, whoever has the biggest audience, whether your audience is on YouTube, Twitch, television, radio, print, wherever, whoever has the biggest audience eventually is going to have all the jobs. So if you got a big audience, guess what? And you're not on the radio, well, get ready, because radio people will be calling you, asking to hire you at some point. If you don't have a big audience, it doesn't matter if you've been on radio your whole life.
There's that for sure. But, the a la carte selection, the smart dashboards, you're right about all of that. Nothing more than bad hosts, more than bad radio station signals that get fuzzy when you drive around a mountain, more than any bad element of boots on the ground program directing. Nothing has done more to kill radio in the last 4 or 5 years than these corporations who have as thick a middle management staff as you've ever seen, from program directors to format captains to regional managers to market managers. I mean, just a bunch of nameless, faceless, useless pencil pushers. And the bureaucracy of corporate America has done more to ruin radio than any bad host anywhere ever has. I mean, that is what's killing radio. They're paying people who, if they never had been hired in the first place, you would have never noticed that they were there or not. They don't make any station or any network necessarily run better. The amount of people who are really good at what they do is always a small percentage in any industry. And they have overloaded an industry that didn't need nearly this much management in it with way too much middle management. And that's what sucked up budgets to stop paying people to be really good on the radio. Now, somebody here, I just got to say this. I'm not trying to call anyone out here because I love you. Never go full Jeff. He says something here that says, I hope the next one to get fired from radio is Guru. All right, never go full Jeff. I love you, man. Don't ever say that again.
Yeah, seriously. Guru's awesome.
Guru is an incredibly delightful, beautiful human being in every way possible. And beyond that, even
and a good host.
Even if he were Satan, you don't root for anyone to get fired in 2023.
It's bad karma, man. It's just bad karma.
Not just bad karma. It's bad form. Look at it out there. It's a dog-eat-dog world.
Yeah.
And you don't,
bad form. It's bad karma. It's
don't
bad.
root for anyone to
and
lose their job.
Guru's freaking great. And I think I know a lot about radio, and I think he's terrific.
Yeah. Now, the thing about Guru is he might not be the flavor for you, but he's definitely someone else's flavor. It's like the City Connect jerseys. They didn't make it for me.
Dominant with those jerseys.
But the kids love them. And, Guru might not be your cup of tea, but the next guy over might absolutely love what he's doing. And so, don't ever wish for anyone to lose a job. It is brutal out there. Absolutely brutal. Somebody says Ryan Covey would love this conversation. Thank you, James. Appreciate it. And little jingle jangle putting $2 in the jar. Thank you so much.
Covey's selling Range Rovers in Livermore. And last time I talked to him, he's very happy. So he's making good money.
I'm glad he is. I just saw, actually, you know what? I liked a Facebook post from him today. I think it's his wife's birthday. So happy birthday to Mrs. Covey.
Covey by the Bay.
Covey by the Bay. I'll tell you what, Larry, when we start pulling sponsors in for Home and Home, let's go get a couple Land Rovers from Covey, man. He's going to want to sponsor this. Maybe we can get that dealership aboard.
Seriously. I'll gladly drive a Land Rover. It's a nice looking vehicle. I think.
Do you think they'd give us each a Land Rover, or maybe one Land Rover and 2 sets of keys, and we could borrow it from each other?
I want my own Land Rover. Your Land Rover is going to have car seats in it.
Yeah,
I can't share with a guy with car seats.
I'm gonna
be
Rover.
The day for my turn to drive it. I'm gonna be sitting down. All of a sudden, I'm gonna feel a cheese stick stuck to my leg. Oh my God! It's Damon's kid's cheese stick, or those little crackers that are shaped like fish. I'm gonna have one of those cheese cracker fish, little minor cheese crackers are going to be stuck to my leg.
Yeah, the goldfish are in there. So the
goldfish, exactly.
The back of this car right now, Ozzy, He crushes goldfish. I mean, by the fistful. And because he's a little kid, he doesn't necessarily hit his mouth every time. So there's like, it's like Ted Stryker in Airplane, the guy with the drinking problem, and he would go like this. That's what Ozzy does with goldfish. We got a little advice here though. Range Rover, great lease vehicle. Don't own one. Digital Drew.
Look at Digital Drew. Digital Drew is is one of the guys who works out of Chicago on the video game Mortal Kombat.
Really?
Yeah. Digital Drew's a cool guy. We've had him on video calls.
Appreciate it, Digital Drew.
You got to go start getting video calls. Wait until Damon Bruce starts going video calls. Oh, you're gonna really love video calls. Because video calls, you like taking calls, but like calls are good on the radio, but calls on YouTube are awesome because you get their whole background. You really connect with people when you do video calls. It's really cool. You'll see once you do a few.
Do you have to reach a certain pinnacle, or like, can I start doing that this week?
No, you can start doing it. I'm not sure exactly on Restream exactly how to do it, but like for StreamYard, you can just you just put the video link in the chat, and then as soon as you do, people can click the link and go to the green room, and then you can just call them from the green room into the studio.
By the way, Ron throwing a couple bucks in the jar saying, when do we get the Damon, Larry, and Grant roundtable? Grant
who? Napier or Grant Cohn?
I mean, either Grant, right? I mean, both would be a very timely booking.
Yeah. I mean, I've been doing stuff this week with Grant Napier. I'm on tomorrow with Grant Cohn. Doing a thing on my channel. I stopped by on his channel. I mean, to me, what I love about the YouTube thing is the community of people that are doing the same thing, but different things. You know what I mean? It's like, we're all talking about the same topic, but we're doing it totally different ways. And it's cool. It's like, and if you're a Niner fan, man, you win. 'Cause you got this Niner fan and that Niner fan, and this guy's focusing on the draft and that guy's focusing on, whatever. And it's just, I don't know. There's just, to me, the fan has got a lot of content to choose from right now.
Rockin' New Era 84 says, I remember when Damon had the sponsor from Porsche. Yeah. Yeah, we had Carlson Porsche. That was nice. They had to teach me how to say Porsche correctly. It's not Porsche, it's Porsche. And that was nice. And I tell you what was really nice about that. 2 funny Porsche stories, Larry. It's the car that I was driving when Jillian and I just started dating. So the very first time I pick her up in this gorgeous, like this Porsche Cayenne. The thing was like the SUV. Gorgeous.
I saw it. I've seen it.
Thing was freaking awesome. And like I told her right away, I'm like, this is not indicative of who I am. I'm just a radio guy. I'm just borrowing the car. Don't get used to it. But it was nice. We had some fun drives in that thing. Second best Porsche story is when I was driving the Boxer, which is like the Miata of Porsche, the Boxster, and I'm at an intersection, like right on the corner of Mission and Second, and it's a convertible, and because I just, I don't know, I wasn't paying attention or whatever, I'm way too much in the crosswalk. Like from the rear view mirrors on the doors.
So what?
I'm in the crosswalk.
Somebody's giving you crap about it?
So the top is down, and this guy walks past, and he's got to walk around the car, and he's feeling himself that day, and he goes, figure some douchebag in a Porsche would be the guy in the crosswalk. And I just looked at him, I'm like, yeah, okay, I deserve that. I'm not even a Porsche guy. I'm just happen to be borrowing it. But yes, I understand.
You should have gotten out of the car and kicked that guy's ass. You should have just beaten that guy
Never
down.
get out of the Porsche, Larry. The guy in the Porsche's got more to lose than the guy not in the Porsche. You know what I mean?
I had a commercial with Chrysler Pacifica, and we blew it out so big on KMBR on the Ratty show that I kept talking about it. They wanted me to do videos. So I did videos, how to take press one button and take out the back seat, press one button and rearrange the seats. I mean, it was the most automated car ever. Right.
Uh-huh.
And I get a call from the sales guy, and he's like, the people at Chrysler they want to double the buy. They love how much attention you've given them on this Pacifica. I mean, literally, it was like 3 years later, people are coming up to me, hey, Krug, you still got that Pacifica? I'm like, no, I'm not driving the Pacifica anymore.
Ratty was just you had Radnich just looking anything to get him through the show. Like he was going to talk about the Chrysler Pacifica, Real Housewives. Right. It didn't matter. Just anything that wasn't sports because he wasn't watching sports at that point in time in his career. By the way, your boy Digital Drew, he's doing well. Look at him. That's what I drive now, the Porsche. There is no substitute.
Now, Digital Drew, you live in Chicago. Do you have to have the bottom dipped so it doesn't so the snow doesn't rot out the bottom? Because I think all cars in the Midwest, Damon, you're a guy from the Northeast and spent time in the Midwest. Yeah. I believe the bottom of cars in the Northeast and in the Midwest have to be dipped.
You got to get a Simonized. Got to get a Simonized, Larry. You got to Simonize the bottom of that car.
Agent, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Digital Drew, have you had your Porsche dipped? I'm waiting for the answer.
Look at it this way. I'm sure as a Porsche driver, he's had many things dipped. Congratulations to him. What do we got over here? This is Alex saying, great job, Damon and Gary. I think he means Larry.
Thank you.
I remember when Damon used to do 49ers postgame live at the restaurants down in Brisbane. Yeah, there was a time I was doing there was a pizza place in Brisbane that I was doing them from. Larry, you and I, when we were doing 49er postgame from Sam's Chowder House.
Dude, one of my favorite moments of all time.
Serious. I don't know
how
good the show was.
One of my favorite moments of all time. We were doing a show at I got to tell the story. We're doing the show. We're at Sam's Chowder House. It's a night game. It's now 10 o'clock. Most of the restaurants closed out. We're in a side room. This drunken lady was like, or there's some drunken man who didn't speak English that well. I think he was like European.
Like German tourists.
He was like a tourist from, international European tourist. And he's like, you guys are so loud. It's so loud. It's so loud. And you popped up and said, hey, the restaurant owners wanted us to be here. We're more important than you guys. And this guy, and I remember Hammer came running, and that guy's like, it's so loud. You're bothering us. Oh, classic moment at Sam's Chowder House. I used to get the Oysters Rockefeller.
The Oyster Krugerfellers.
Yes.
Come on. Those are delish.
Sometimes a couple orders.
I would always go lobster roll, get some oysters as well. The pasta that they had, the seafood pasta was fantastic.
Smelled great in there.
It really did. We got to get back down there, man.
Seriously, we got to get Paul Shankman, the owner of Sam's Chowder House. Maybe he should be a sponsor of the Home and Home.
And he also did he also opened another restaurant, the Ostria.
Yes, in downtown San Mateo. Burlingame, maybe?
It might have been Burlingame.
Paul's. I mean, that I guarantee you, Sam's Chowder House is an absolute gold mine restaurant. He's got to be making huge money on that.
Let's see. What is that? Is it Never Go Full Jeff? I wasn't making fun of you. I wasn't making fun of you at all. I didn't take a shot at you. I'm just saying we don't want anyone to get fired. We don't start sentences with I hope this guy gets fired. That's all. I love you. Never Go Full Jeff. Let's see. Imagine a Radnich and Quacker show.
Quackers?
So that was Lowell, my impression of Lowell.
Oh, I got you.
This is why Grant and I have always had a little bit of static with each other. Because his dad came after me big time in the most scumbaggy way humanly possible. When I say don't affect somebody's money, you ought to try to make amends, because you know what, or have them make amends or do something. You ought to talk it out. Because I know Lowell pretty good. I know Grant pretty good. And I'll say this, man, Grant has helped me immeasurably. Lowell has helped me immeasurably. I'm actually now a fan of those guys, and I can see where people wouldn't be fans at times in the past. But if I were you, I would, especially because. Well, I got no problem with Grant, really. I mean, my one problem with Grant came from when he was getting interviews with Shiloh Rashal canceled because he was harassing Niners players all the way back when Shiloh Rashal was playing. Do you remember that? Do you remember when Aaron Sulkin, who was their terrible media guy? Aaron Sulkin looked like a 15-year-old, and he's terrible. And Shiloh Rashal taking over Deshaun Jackson, shrewd. Yeah, it was. But literally, I was sitting there, expecting to get an interview with him, and I'm waiting. I'm killing a segment after killing a segment, And he comes up to me during a commercial break. And I'm like, why? Why can't Shiloh Rashal come out here? And it was something that Grant did, which pissed him off at the media. And so I fired an email. I'm like, hey, dude, I'm out here not getting interviews because you're being a dick. Be less of a dick, please. And his father held that over me forever. And I don't know why. I don't know why. And
well, you'll get an opportunity to pull him to see him at a Niner game or somewhere, and just pull him aside because
that's it. Grant and I have always said hello to each other. We're cool, but me and Lowell did something else. He's on my permanent till he dies fuck him list. I mean that. He really is. What he did to me, you don't know what he did to me.
No, I don't. But I will say this. I will say this. I mean, there's a time to fight and there's a time to kiss and make up. And to me, life's too short. Life's too short.
Yeah, I don't know.
Everybody's got their own experiences, but my whole thing, I'm too forgiving of a person. I am. I can't stay mad at people too long. I should be able to dig in my heels and be madder longer, but eventually I'm just like, you know what? Screw it. I don't care.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna. I don't want to. Give myself a heart attack with all kinds of bad vibes.
Yeah, I mean, I've already had a stroke. I'm from New York. I'm,
exactly. You may need to kiss and make up.
I got some just asshole DNA running through me that I can't let go of. It's part of the strength. Let's see here. How about this? This is from Raylord84. He says, "Hey, Damon and Larry, what are you guys eating on draft night? Do a food draft special." Ooh. Larry's, you can't be eating on draft night. You're going to be touching buttons on your computer. I mean, you can't. I know, but I mean, greasy fingertips.
I don't know exactly what I want to do on draft night. I'm not sure if I want to go live the entire time, or if I want to watch it and go live when the Niners pick, or go live a few times throughout the night. So I'm still kind of thinking it over. I'm going to do a little pre-game with Grant, and I'm not sure exactly with Vish. Vish is going to stop by at some point. But I'm not really sure what I want to do. So I'll have to kind of play it by ear. I got to make a decision. I'll talk to the real boss of my channel, my son.
By the way, this is my sister who is, for whatever reason, home tonight watching this. So she had a Chihuahua named Pinky. She's a big Colts fan. So the Chihuahua's name was Pinky Manning.
Damon loves a grudge.
Yeah, my sister knows. She knows. Damon does love a grudge. It does motivate him. I also love the jingle jangle. Thank you very much, Rit. Appreciate that. Tell us the whole story about Senior Cone. Look at it this way. I had been offered a job, the afternoon drive job at 95.7 The Game, and that's when the guy went public with a completely manufactured bullshit story about me being a creeper in the Giants clubhouse that was way more fiction than fact. Way more fiction than fact. So he over-exaggerated, and then beyond that, he actually physically called Jason Barrett and tried to talk him out of giving me this job. You want to write your column, you go ahead. But the minute you make that phone call, you're taking it way too personal, and you get put on the permanent fuck you list forever as far as I'm concerned. You start messing with hundreds of thousands of dollars of my money? Who the fuck do you think you are? So that's my problem with the older Cone. I got no problem with Grant. We were all feisty coming up, and he's remained feisty. So that's who he is. I respect him. I do. But I got a problem with Lowell, and I don't think I'm never gonna not have a problem with that guy. But
I'm telling you, kiss and make up. Figure out a way.
How about this? For everything you've done for my drive homes all these years, somebody just put $100 in the jar.
Look at that.
Holy shit.
Look at that.
Oh, so much.
We got to give a little cheer there.
Absolutely. You know what that gets, Larry?
Don't they have they're not color. They're not usually on
that gets straight up disco lights.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that.
$100. Tuck it in the G string, baby.
Damn.
Thank you very much. Somebody here also
the main stage.
We're not so busy with $100 bills. We don't get excited about $20 bills either. Thank you very, very much, Rob C. You're very, very nice. Now,
I'll go wings. Spicy buffalo wings.
I need wings at a Super Bowl, that's for sure. I'm a big nacho guy. To me, pizza, you can't go wrong with pizza at any point in time. Pig in a blanket guy, queso guy.
Yes. How about stuffed mushrooms with sausage? New York style
New
Italian?
York style sausage, absolutely.
There you go.
Let's just get the mushroom out of it. I don't want a salad. Just give me the sausage.
Oh, yeah, but stuffed mushroom is
I know.
incredible.
R.I.P. Cougar Rebel. Damon, are you going to squash your beef with Gary Radnich? Here's the thing. No. Well, here's the thing. Gary and I have seen each other since the beef, and it's been cordial and polite and friendly, and I want it to be that way. I got nothing against Gary, other than when I was trying to make things work on the show, he went out of the way to tell me everything was working great, and then going behind my back and trying to get me removed from the show. And then this total dickhead named Larry Krueger comes in.
That guy just kicked ass, though. That guy was fucking awesome.
Well, kissed ass. No doubt about that. Kick? I don't know. But
kicked ass. Come on, man. Number one. We had a 12 share going there.
You did. Yeah, we had a good one. Yeah, that's
12 share. But, of course, the Giants won the World Series, too.
That had a little something to do with it.
Had a little something to do with it.
A little something to do with it. But no, you were great. You and Ratty did a good job. You did. You had a funny show together. The two of you complimented each other in a way that I guess, that he and I did not compliment each other. But he tried to work with you. He never really tried to work with me.
That's true. And once you were out of there, then it was like, he had only one move there. And it was, I don't think he could have moved me out of there.
Right.
He probably could have.
I was the last power play he had to play, so he played it.
He played it.
No hard feelings. Look, dude, Digital Drew, I do want to do a video. He said, I used to live downstairs from Radnich when I was 6 years old. He knows Kevin the bodyguard. He's a great friend of mine. It's a small world.
Wow.
Freaking Digital Drew. What, are you kidding me?
Digital Drew's the man.
Love
having him on.
I guess so. And someone has understood. Oh, yes. You should bring your sister on the show. No, wait, that's not what I wanted to click on. Lindsay would not. She's more than welcome to make an appearance. She would just come and tell you that she hasn't been able to root for the Colts and Peyton Manning left. She had a thing for Andrew Luck there for a minute, but didn't we all? This is Raylord saying the Metallica rye is smooth. It really is. It really is. Larry, I don't think I've told you yet, but I've secured my first 2 sponsorships for Damon Brews Plus.
Nice.
We're going to be doing something with Ike sandwiches. And, Ike and I have known each other for a very, very long time. I'm deeply grateful that he wants to come out and support me here, and it means a lot. Metallica whiskey Blackened just totally came out of nowhere because I was wearing a T-shirt and their liquor rep listens to the show, and we put together a little deal, and we're going to go ahead and be brought to you by Ike Sandwiches and Metallica Blackened Whiskey starting on Monday officially. But I'm happy to announce that right now, man. It's good stuff.
Congrats, man. Way to go.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And then you and I, of course, will be sharing the Ryan Covey Land Rover auto dealership car together.
Can't wait.
We got to get that done. Gary and Larry was an interesting morning show. It was pretty funny at times. What was the best memory or moment that you and Radnich had together?
Oh, several, man. There were several. I mean, me and Kate arguing, and he's like, "Both of you, shut up!" That was pretty funny when he would yell at us.
When you were arguing with the voice of the Philadelphia 76ers,
he jinxed my NC2A tournament Thursday bet by telling me that I was home when there was one more sequence left in the game, and the guy came down and hit a 3 for Texas and upset the bet. And, the audience blamed him. That was pretty funny. I gave him a lot of grief because he mentioned how he walked his dog. I said, "Did you pick up the crap?" And he's like, "Well, it was in a wooded area." I'm like, "You live in the middle of a city. What do you mean a wooded area?" And so tons of people were calling up, "Gary doesn't pick up after his dog." I mean, it was pretty classic. Yeah, we just had a lot of fun.
Somebody says, "Damon, how come Larry's got a higher resolution camera than yours?" Because he's got a better camera than I do. That's why.
That's
We're
really
working on it. We're working on it. He's been doing this for a year. I've been doing this for a month. Let me catch up. So I'll tell you what. Here's what I would like, Larry, because I got to get going. I got to go pick up Jillian from a BART station. We got to go pick up kids. We got to get the goldfish.
I got to get to high school baseball.
You got to get to high school baseball. Oh, by the way, how'd your kid pitch the other night?
He didn't wind up pitching after all. He wound up playing left, but he made a running catch in left center to halt a rally. So I was very proud of him.
Very nice. Here's what I'd like you to do, Larry. I don't know if we can ever smooth anything out with the dad. And if you can't smooth things out with the dad, maybe you can't be friendly with the son. But if you could put together an armistice between me and Grant, not that there even is one. I don't have any. Grant and I had a back and forth 15 years ago, and not since then. But
I'll do what I can. I'll do what I can.
Because here's the deal. What I have for him is a level of respect of how he's moved into this marketplace. He has done very, very well from himself, and whenever I know for a fact there's a little something I could learn from someone, I feel differently than I used to, and there's no doubt there's a little something we could learn from that guy. I could learn from that guy. He's taught you a lot. You've taught me a lot. So that's how it all fits together.
Yeah, I'll see what I can do. I mean, it's going to take some time, but we'll make it happen. We'll make it happen.
It's not going to happen for the draft.
It's not going to happen in the next day, but maybe cooler heads will prevail, and we can all get together for a beer, talk it out.
Hey, maybe even Lowell will come along. We'll bury hatchets if he's buying around.
Why not?
Tony Bruno call-in was appointment rated. That to me was the best part of the Radnitz show at all times with the Tony Bruno.
But believe it
segment.
or not, that was part of the reason as well that they moved Tony Bruno out of there, is that became the lowest rated segment of the entire show.
Well, it became redundant. It became the same thing every day because instead of talking to Tony about sports, Gary would just tell the same 6 jokes.
Yeah, and people knew they weren't going to talk sports.
Right.
So some people loved it. Other people were like, "I'll tune in 20 minutes from now." So that's how that worked.
Anyways,
all right, brother. I got to jump. The 4:00 start. I'm already a little late.
Oh, hey, get there, man. Get there. Thank you, Larry. Always appreciate you stopping on by. Larry Kruger. And, Larry, I even gave you a caption that I forgot to say because you said subscribe to the Damon Bruce. Larry's a good guy. Don't you forget it. There you go. Totally forgot to even play it for you. You're the best, buddy.
We'll hook up later this week.
You got it. Take care, man. There
Peace.
he is, Larry Kruger, the one and only. So good to have him here on the show. Thanks to all of you for tuning in. It was good. We're double dipping today. I'll be back tomorrow at 11 a.m. for a full recap of whatever happens tonight in the NBA. Of course, starting with the Warriors and Kings. It's only one of the biggest games of the dynasty, if it continues or not. I think this is a massive one. The winner of tonight's game, I think, wins this series. And I'm not going to come off that if the Kings win this game. This is a very, very big game tonight for the Golden State Warriors. We'll see if they got it in them. I think that they do. I think that they can win 4 in a row. That's the path to them winning Warriors in 6. That's what I called. Now, if it happens to be Warriors in 7, I'll be thrilled to admit that I was wrong about the gravity of Game 5. But history, NBA historical playoff math, favors the winner of this game. You want to win this game if you're tied 2-2 in an NBA playoff series. There's no doubt about that. I will also be on the AMP app tonight. I have put together a playlist, by the way, too, because not only on AMP do you just go and you talk sports, you can play all the music you want. My playlist is just savage. I mean, I put it together. I gotta start sharing my AMP playlist because they are that dope. They are that funky. Let me tell you what we got cooking tonight here on the AMP app, as always, because, again, it's the bitterness that I do embrace, and it fuels me to be excellent. Ever since, Jenny Was a Friend of Mine has been my opening song from The Killers for almost 18 years on the radio. Now that I'm not on the radio, my opening song on the AMP app is How to Kill a Radio Consultant by Public Enemy. After that, we got some De La Soul. We got a little LL Cool J. Got a little X-Clan. We got the Propeller Heads, some Sly and the Family Stone, Peter Tosh. We're going to play some Grateful Dead, some Johnny Cash, some Eric B. and Rakim, some Ice Cube, some Beastie Boys, a little Fish, because that's how I get down. Might have to play some Azalea Banks, excuse me, and a little Brand Nubian. Yeah. The dopest white boy you know. Sitting right here after all these years. What do you know about that? So that's how it's going to go down on the AMP app. Thank you very much. We'll see you there starting around 9 o'clock tonight. You want a little entertainment? We'll give you a little entertainment. That's what we do. Oh, what do we got here? from The Godfather. Give us what we want. We must be entertained. I will give it to you. Far Side playing in Pacifica, says the Rodfather. You know what? I'm going to put some Far Side on that app right now. Thank you very much. The fish will happen. Good things will happen. Hopefully good Warriors basketball will happen. And everybody gets to go home happy tonight, unless you're up in Sacramento. In which case, the amount of time you go home happy is probably far and few between. Anyway, no, I'm just kidding. Sacramento's lovely. It's fantastic. But I hope it's not tonight. Hope it is not tonight. Thank you to everyone. Thank you for some very, very generous super chatting throughout today's show, too. Damon has so many enemies. So many enemies. Hey, you know you're doing it right if you got a lot of enemies. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will remind you, as always, sports don't build character.